Hey everybody, it's FigCorner2000 back at it with another unboxing, and today we're looking at Superman versus Superman of Earth 3. Let's start with the box artwork. On the front here, you've got a very nice display, and I can see that there is an actual stand for the figures to use when I get them out of the packaging, which is going to look very cool. On this side right here, it's just the logo again up top, and then Superman versus Superman of Earth 3 on the side. On the back is both of their collector cards right here, Superman and then Ultraman. And on this side is Superman versus Superman of Earth 3, just in a larger print. This is the 85th anniversary Superman. This is why this logo is up here and on the front down here. But let's get this box open and let's get rolling. Alrighty, the box is slit. Let's get this packaging out of it. This is my first McFarlane 2-pack, so I'm about to get everything out of the box while I give a little bit of backstory on both of these characters. Alrighty, if you're into Superman, you're already going to know this stuff, but I'm going to say it anyway, so you can skip this if you like. Superman, aka Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, is from the planet of Krypton. It was a dying planet where everybody lived in harmony, peace, everything was okay. I mean, there was wars and stuff like that, of course. But anyway, the planet was dying, and Kal-El's father decides to send him to Earth. He sends him in a space pod. It probably takes like a couple of years to get there. He wakes up as a baby boy. This is when Jonathan and Martha Kent discover little Kal-El in their field. They adopt him, they name him Clark Kent, and they teach him the values of Earth. They teach him compassion, justice, truth, and the way of American life. Now, because he's on Earth, he has intensified powers. On his home planet, everybody has these same abilities and they're all like humans. But the fact that they're on Earth makes them super strong. He is basically invulnerable. He is called a man of steel. No bullets can penetrate his skin. He has freeze breath, laser eyes, and yeah, he can fly. Superman becomes a global icon of truth and justice and basically serves Earth and is a protector of Earth. He's the most powerful being on the planet. But now let's move on to Ultraman. Basically the opposite of Superman. His real name is Kal-El, and he still goes by Clark Kent sometimes on Earth 3. Earth 3 is basically the parallel opposite of what happens to Earth 0, or sort of Earth Prime. Kal-El is sent from a spaceship from Krypton as well, and is adopted by Jonathan and Martha Kent, but they use him for what they want to, and they basically take advantage of him. He does escape this farm, however. He ends up killing his parents. He escaped this farm, and since this world is basically backwards, it's corrupt, and just injustice and power and greed are the main core principles. That is what he becomes doing. He starts killing people. He starts doing things that give him power. He scares the public into basically submitting to him, and becomes like the ruler of this planet. These two superheroes, or superhero and one villain, do meet, however, and they do end up fighting. This is why this 2-pack is a thing. Superman, a beacon of hope and good, and Ultraman, a beacon of evil and injustice, do end up fighting. Now, the fact that neither of these dudes can die means that they don't actually win the fight they have, but I would like to say that Superman wins in the end and beats up Ultraman and sends him back to his planet. Another alternate reality and sort of a theory here is that Ultraman just turns into Bizarro after this fight, which is another sort of twisted Superman villain. Ultraman and Bizarro are essentially the same thing in their core principles and how they work. It's just the names are different. That's all there is to talk about these two really, really cool heroes, anti-heroes, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to speed this up and I'm going to start talking about the figure. Alrighty, everything is out of the box finally. That took a very long time, so let's start talking about what this 2-pack comes with. To start off, there is a signature cards here, one for Superman and one for Ultraman. They both have a data file on the back, basically describing who they are, where they come from, their superpowers, and these two are pretty similar, so they're probably going to say the same things. This also comes with 2 stands. I'm not sure if the camera can pick this up, but this is not a normal DC stand with the ring, the stars, and the white logo. It is a more matte finish right here. It sort of just shines in the light, which I think is very cool. It's for the 85th anniversary of Superman, I'm pretty sure. This pack also comes with a ruined Daily Planet wreckage right here. Parts of this do come apart, and then there's also pegs on it for the figures to stand on, which I think is really cool and is going to look awesome for posing. Additionally, there's this really tiny little figure right here as well. I'm not quite sure who this is, if it's a she or a he, not sure what they do. If anybody knows, please tell me in the comments. I'm not very learned on this topic. Of course, both the figures look awesome and are very built and heavy, and I think are going to look really good on the shelf. They both come with a pair of fist hands. Then there's a pair of straight hands like this that they can share. Ultraman does come with a pair of sort of open grasping hands like this, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet, but they're cool. And there's this open hand like this, as if someone's talking to somebody. And then there is a pointing hand as well. With that out of the way, let's move on to both of these figures' articulation. They are sort of on the same body mold, but they don't look exactly identical. So let's talk about it. Both figures come with rubber capes, which is a little weird, and I would prefer a wired cape, but it's alright. Doesn't matter that much. This Ultraman can look up to here, which is decent. Can look down to here, which is alright. There is a chest and torso split right here that does swivel itself all the way around, and then does go up a bit as well, but there is that gap there, which you're going to have to look out for. There is a waist split as well, which does swivel around it too. With a little bit of willpower. There is butterfly joints on both these figures. Shoulder range goes all the way up to here. Swivels as well. And the bicep and forearm is nice. Although I'm noticing that the forearm movement is a little loose right here. And then on this one, it's also loose right here, because this is the position that they were fixed in the box, which is a little annoying, but it's alright. Things do move all the way up to here, though, on this figure. Although there is a weird little block part right here that's going to stick out if you do it that. And the same can be said for this arm. The hip goes up all the way to here, which is semi-decent. Goes up to here as well. And then it can also come all the way around here. And then, of course, goes back a lot as well. But just watch for that exposed joint. There is a decent knee movement as well right here. And then there is standard toe movement as well for both these figures, which this moves nicer than some of my other toe movements. Those don't move as well, but this is very, very smooth. And then there is a foot ball joint as well down here. With all that being said, let's talk about the real Superman here. He can look up about to here. He can look down to here. There is also a chest and torso split for him as well. Rotates all the way around. Then there is also a waist cut as well. Rotates all the way around too. The shoulder goes up to here. There is a butterfly joint in it as well. See it showing here. Swivels all the way around like this. The bicep and forearm do crunch themselves all the way up. With enough muscling, you can make the bicep and forearm go all the way up like this. Although it doesn't necessarily look great, and it is annoying that it's so tight, but I'm going to work with it. The wrist on this figure moves around like this with that standard weird MACFARLANE joint right there. Same can be said on the figure behind it. The hip goes up in front all the way to here. Goes up all the way to about here on the side, which is not great. It wants to fall down a bit, and then goes back to about here. So not as good as the figure back there, but it's all right. And yes, it can come all the way around here. Knee movement is decent on this figure as well, with a foot joint down here, and then of course a toe joint. I went ahead and brought out my Mafex flight stand so we could see what they both look like flying, so let's get to it. MACFARLANE for once did not fail me, and this Superman can actually fly and put his hands up as if he's flying, which is really cool. Let's look at him as if he's going straight up though. Once again though, this constant smiling from this Superman does look a little odd. Let's move on to Ultraman. Alright, just like Superman, he can actually fly, and this does look really good. MACFARLANE for once is not disappointing me, and I actually think this is quite a nice figure. It's definitely not better than Marvel Legends, but let's move on to the poses with this cool build back here. Okay, with a lot of effort, I was able to get him into this pose. I don't want to get him into another pose because this took forever, but this is really cool, and I'm really happy I was able to get this for the price I did. I mean, man, there is so much to come with this, so many very, very cool things. These figures are awesome, almost one of the better MACFARLANE releases, and for once, MACFARLANE didn't let me down. I know that this flashback there and that MACFARLANE right there are good examples that MACFARLANE's not that bad, but I just wasn't really sure if this was going to live up to what I thought it was going to live up to. With all that being said, I give the whole pack 9 out of 10 on the MACFARLANE scale, and I give each figure individually a 8 out of 10 for this guy and a 7.5 out of 10 for this guy. But overall, this is a great 2-pack. I'd pick it up if you want to. I'm not even sure if you can anymore. It's pretty old. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.